A very pleasant good evening to you as we welcome you inside the Tower Grill on the campus of Arizona Christian University for another edition of the Storm Report. Tonight's edition is episode number 15, and we have another jam-packed program for you here this evening. I'm your program host, Kevin Derryberry. Our show co-host is Ed Cole, my color analyst for the ACU men's football program. And our first guest tonight will be Coach Austin Peters. He's the assistant coach for Jeff Rutter for the number 10 ranked team in the country. That might change here in the next couple of days, but Austin Peters will be our guest. Also on tonight's program, we'll speak with women's basketball players Shaylynn Yager. She'll join us here on the program. In our second segment, she'll be joined by her teammate Taylor Teeple, as the ladies got it done over the weekend. They won two straight basketball games. In fact, they enjoyed an illustrious win category, and we'll talk about that on tonight's program. And then we'll also have Coach Butterfield's young student athletes on. Wrestlers Carlos Castanaro will be here, and then Jason Ramirez will join us on the program. Without further ado, we welcome you both in. And Ed, good to have you back. How are you, buddy?
Thank you, sir. Katie, how you doing?
We're doing fantastic.
Coach, good evening. Thanks for joining us
Thanks
again.
for having me. Appreciate you guys.
Coach Peters, let's start off with like the real life things, like the things that just get us going, to pull at our heartstrings. Congratulations to you and your wife, Emily.
Thank you.
You've got one on the way, and we kind of talked about that before
Congrats,
the show.
Coach.
But
joining the club.
We're all pumped up. So yeah, and congratulations about that. Elaborate on that.
Thank you.
What's the feeling like at home?
We're super pumped and just feeling very blessed. We're feeling very blessed. We're super excited.
Fantastic. We talked about names. We just got the information. It's like it's hot off the presses.
Yeah.
But
so, Coach, they get born and then they get that big. They grow like that.
Yeah.
But we have
You've got it good, man. That's awesome.
Yes.
We have established some common ground, though, right? We're going to raise this child, whatever it is. We're going to love this child to be maybe a Cardinals fan, maybe a Suns fan.
Suns, Cardinals, Diamondbacks, absolutely. If they're born in Phoenix, why wouldn't they be a Phoenix fan?
Makes a lot of sense. Coach
Yeah,
Peters
absolutely.
hails from the Chicago area. But, Coach, congratulations. Part of another very, very good basketball team. We were talking about it. This club has a lot of student athletes, a lot of guys that play the game of basketball. They're students of the game, and a lot of guys there on this team still continue to develop their faith here at ACU. Mm-hmm. So congratulations for being part of a winning program in just your second year here.
Yeah. And, we talk with our guys about faith a lot, and obviously we as coaches are all believers, and it's very important to us. And then we have Coach Chambers, who's an amazing resource, and he's just such a blessing to our university and our basketball program. And so, yeah, there's a lot that goes into that element of it as well, off the basketball court.
Can't say enough about Coach Chambers.
Oh, yeah.
Every
He's a
time
man.
he's mentioned on this show, we just talk about Coach Chambers.
And I look
He's
so
a man.
forward to football season, so we can get on the field and talk to Coach Chambers, and he'll just sup with us and just pour into us and pray for us. It's just an amazing experience every time we see Coach Chambers.
Yeah, we're blessed to have him.
Yes. Coach, so beating the number 18 team in the country, you're down 13 points in the second half, and you mount a rally and you come back to beat the number 18 team in the country. Talk about that victory and what it meant to the program to beat the Masters.
Yeah, I mean, the Masters, they're just as good as anybody in the country. I know you mentioned their ranking, but they've got the talent 1 through 7, 8 to stack up with anybody in the country. I mean, they've got some dudes, man. And going into the game, we knew it was going to be a battle, and we knew it was going to be a game with a lot of fireworks, a lot of firepower, both teams with a lot of good players. And so, just really proud of our guys. We didn't get down. I think that's what, one of the things I've loved about being a part of this team the last couple of years. Our guys aren't quitters, right? Like I've been a part of teams and seen teams in the past that guys, you go down 13 and it's like, oh my gosh, like it's over, but our guys, they never do that. Doesn't matter how much we're down or if we're down in a game, our guys just keep at it, and they keep, coming for more, and they keep throwing the next punch. And I'm just proud of our guys for staying level-headed and for just staying in it, man, because obviously when you're going up against a team that's got so many weapons like Masters does, I mean, all over the court, they got a bunch of firepower, and you get down 13, it's hard to claw your way back in a game like that. And our guys just battled, Dom, Zoe, Tucker off the bench, awesome minutes. Like, those guys came in and just gave us such a lift and such a spark. And we were very fortunate to come out with a win. We can play better. There's a lot of things we need to get better at, but I mean, for where we were at in that game to come back and get a victory. We were very fortunate, and we're very fortunate for that.
Coach, I want to ask you about shooting percentages. In the first half, you shot 42%. Second half, you really turned this thing around, 16 of 28, 57% from the field. What did you see from the players to see them elevate and get more accurate with their shooting in the second half?
Yeah, I think, that a lot of credit goes to Dom and Zoe coming off the bench, staying ready. It's hard, being on a team where you got 8, 9, 10 like really good players. I mean, it could be anybody, any night, right? And I got to give credit to those guys because they stayed ready. They're in the gym all the time working on their game, getting shots up, and they were ready for a moment like Saturday where we needed to lift and we were down, and we had a hard time scoring. Even early in the second half, we had a hard time scoring, and those guys came off the bench, gave us a spark. Zoe was pushing the ball, finding Dom. The guys were looking for Zoe, and he was hitting shots, and so like those guys were big off the bench and provided us a lift. And Anthony Howell had a great game. He was dominant in the paint. Masters is a physical team. They're a team that really likes to go inside. They really like to, beef. I know we were talking before the show about how physical they were. And, Anthony was up to the challenge and up to the test, and he was, dominant in the paint. I think he had like 16, 17 points and 6 and 9 from the floor. He had a dominant,
16, yep.
Yeah, he had a dominant performance on Saturday. And so I think he, like I said, he was up for the challenge. And so, yeah, we got some great performances from those guys getting to their sweet spot, and guys looking for them and playing for each other. And I think that, when we're looking for each other and playing as a team and playing as a unit, we're pretty tough to beat.
Coach, you win a game when Trent Hudgens only scores 1 point. It's pretty miraculous, especially coming from behind like that. But you both really hit on a couple of points that I had that I wanted to touch on, and that was the stuntmen. And the stuntmen on Saturday afternoon in front of a jam-packed gymnasium, playing a team that had been to the tournament 11 times, right?
Yep.
And NAIA National Championship Tournament participant in Coach Starr and his Mustangs. So you know that you're getting good competition. We've talked about it quite a bit. The GSAC's one of the best conferences in all the land in the NAIA, so you're getting your best competition. But I thought Lorenzo Wright, he was 4 for 4. In fact, we talk about those stunt guys, and you mentioned them already, Dom Gonzalez and Lorenzo Wright. They had 25 points off the bench, missed one shot. That was a field goal attempt, perfect at the free throw line, hit big shots at the line. But Lorenzo Wright, 4 triples. He was outstanding, and he hit all of his shots were clutch.
Yeah, he's in the gym. It's hard to say who's in the gym the most because it's not like I'm in the gym 24/7, but he is in the gym just as much as anybody I've ever coached in 9 years. The dude is just relentless at getting shots up, getting in the gym, whether it's by himself or with a teammate. He is always getting shots up. And a game like Saturday, it's no surprise to us coaches or even like our team, because he just puts in the work all the time, and he's ready for moments like that. He's ready to hit big shots against a top ranked team and a really good team, because he's been practicing that every single day for the last however many months or years of his life. Like he's a worker, man, and he's a gamer because he's putting the work in. And Dom too. Dom's been putting a ton of work in lately. He's been staying late after practice, coming in early like every day, and getting a ton of shots up. And so, it's when guys do stuff like that, it's no surprise to us because we've been seeing the work that they've been putting in to get there. And so, and I know you mentioned Trent only scoring 1 point. That just goes to show the depth of our team, right?
Absolutely.
Like Trent's one of the top leading scorers in the GSAC, and for us to get a win with him scoring 1 point, it shows our depth and shows our versatility. And really, really excited about it. And what I love about Trent is he didn't care. He was the happiest guy we won. He was celebrating on the bench, and after the game he was getting super hyped. That's what I love about these guys, man, is there's no agendas, there's no hidden egos. It's all about let's do this together, and let's play for each other, and I love that about our group.
There was a couple things that went into that, Coach, to pick up your 14th win and come from behind fashion, and one of them was the defense. Top 5 in defense in the GSAC. I think you're 4th in that category, but there's a lot of guys that played great defense. In fact, you mentioned Trent Hudgens, the 1 point, but he played some lockdown D throughout the game. Of course, I don't think he locked down on Caleb Lowry, but Caleb Lowry was held in check in this game, right? As a team, the Firestorm played enough defense to slow him down. He's the reigning GSAC Player of the Year, so it was a nice job to keep him at minimum. But I thought Tucker Molina, at the very end, he made some clutch plays. He had a little flurry there of just some hawking the ball and playing some great defense, and then he got that partial block there to save the day at the end on a Ty Harper shot, who Ty Harper was laser sharp during that game.
Yeah.
So it was just a clutch defensive play.
Yeah, Tucker's figuring it out. He kind of had an adjustment period, as all new guys have, but he's finally starting to get comfortable, and he's such a weapon defensively because he's got like those quick hands. He's super long and athletic. He's like Micah Blackwell, like he's got that athleticism, the quick hands, the length, and the good instincts. Like they're two massive weapons for us defensively. And I mean, Micah spent the majority of the game on Lowry and did a great job. Anthony Howell towards the end of the game when he had that matchup and had Lowry a lot. I thought he did awesome guarding Lowry and being physical and making it tough on him. And you mentioned Trent. Trent's, I think. I know Micah won Defensive Player of the Year last year. I think Trent's in the same breath as a Micah Blackwell, just with his defensive versatility and his quickness and his upside and his ability to bother shooters. And we've got a lot of weapons defensively as well. And we didn't guard very well in the first half, and we made some adjustments and talked a lot at halftime about it. And I'm proud of our guys. We buckled down especially that last 9-10 minutes. They came out second half and they were still a little too comfortable, and then we finally buckled down. And Tucker did a great job on Harper. He was kicking our tail all night, and then we put Tucker on him to try and give a little length and a little quickness and quick hands on him, and Tucker did an awesome job guarding him late in the second half, and obviously he had that big deflection and contest there late. So, yeah, I mean, great defensive effort last 9-10 minutes. We're not quite where we want to be defensively. I think ACU teams in the past have been top 5, top 10 in the country in defensive efficiency and points per possession, and we're not quite there yet. I think we need to be a little bit more consistent guarding the basketball, keeping the ball out of the paint, and executing our scheme. But I mean, guys are starting to get it. Like our new guys, like Anthony and Tucker and Zoe, and some of our new guys that we've had to integrate into our defensive scheme and philosophy. Those guys are starting to get it, and I think they're kind of starting to hit their stride. So hopefully. We haven't played our best basketball yet, and we keep getting better.
You keep mentioning Anthony Howell, and deservedly so. He was dominant in the paint, got to the line as well, but his efficiency scoring the basketball, he's top 5 in the GSAC conference. But we call him Bill, Coach.
Big Bill, yeah. I didn't know if you guys were in on it. I didn't know if you guys knew. So it's kind of weird. I have to tell myself Anthony, because we just call him Bill all the time.
That's the funniest thing. We had a great time. He was on the show, and I think Dom G was on the show here recently too. And everything that you speak of about the character of our guys, their work ethic has been very impressive. And just one quick note before Ed takes over. Ed, how fun is it when you do you're part of that chess match where you make that switch for Molina to defend Harper, and you mentioned that Blackwell locked down Lowry. He was outstanding. Micah typically gets the best guy to defend almost every night, right? So how fun is that collectively as a group when you make that little chess match move?
Well, it's not fun when we were down 13-14 or whatever it was. It wasn't fun. So we were kind of, scrambling, trying to figure out what we wanted to do. But, I'm just proud of our guys for stepping up and being ready. And I think, like we've said, we've got a lot of weapons on both sides of the ball. And so, as a coach, it's nice to know that, if one thing's not working, we can go to another thing and give that a try. If that's not working, we can go, we can give teams different looks, and we can give, guys different matchups, and they can go out and take care of business and handle business. So it's comforting as a coach knowing going into a game, we got a lot of different weapons, and we can hurt teams a lot of different ways.
Outstanding.
Coach, in a game that intense and in the second half when you're trying to rally from a double-digit deficit, you could easily see your team try to force the issue and turn the ball over at a high rate, and then you're frustrated because the guys are trying their hardest to fight back in the game, but they're making careless mistakes turning the ball over. Just 10 turnovers in the course of an entire basketball game. Were you happy for the most part, with the way the guys handled the basketball?
Yeah, I think first half our execution wasn't great, but second half we definitely got the types of shots we wanted, and we were able to execute what we were trying, or execute our game plan that we had all along. I think we did a lot of better job of that in the second half. And obviously guys like Dom and Zoe coming off the bench hitting big shots helped kind of stem the tide, right? It kind of helped calm us down, I think. And then once we were able to kind of calm down a little bit, get a couple stops too, I think then we were able to execute our stuff and start to get some easier buckets, right? Like I think they did a good job of making life hard on us for 25, 26 minutes. And then the last 13, 14 minutes, we were really deliberate about our game plan, and our guys executed really, really well. So, yeah, I mean, the mindset of our guys was pretty elite that last 13, 14 minutes.
The shooting was elite, Coach. You go into the game 40% from three in the country, or excuse me, 40% from three-point land. That's got to be up there in the top 10. Some of the numbers that I was researching were a little bit skewed, but how about 7 of 14 from behind the line in that game? I mean, that's just clutch shooting. Yeah,
and we've got a lot of guys that put the work in. So, when Dom has a big game, Zoe has a big game. How many times have we seen Paul Hayden have a big game from three? I think he had a 10 for 10, 7 of 7 from three game this year, right? Like Dennis Flowers has had massive games for us. And Micah Blackwell's shooting the ball, super well lately. And he's been putting a ton of work in. He's been getting in the gym early in the morning, outside of class and practice and stuff like that. Like we got a bunch of gym rats. We got guys that love to be in the gym, love to get shots up, love to work on their game, and it's fun to coach because you can go into every single game confident, this guy's going to knock it down. This guy, I can trust him to hit a big shot in a big moment because we got a bunch of guys that have been putting the work in.
No doubt about it. One quick note on Micah Blackwell. He joined the 500-point plateau. He's now in the 500-point club as he picked up 15 points against Life Pacific College. So congratulations to Micah B. getting it done here at ACU, let alone his defensive prowess that he brings, Ed.
Absolutely.
You're going to turn the attention to Ottawa because they're coming up next.
Yep, Ottawa, then Vanguard, Hope International. So you got 3 games on the road. Talk about Ottawa and the challenge they're going to.
Doesn't get any easier.
You got to get on there and go over to Surprise. So break that game down for us.
It doesn't get any easier. We have this stretch right now. We had Masters at home, who's really good. We got to go to Ottawa. They're really good. We got to go to Vanguard. They're really good. We got to go to Hope. They're really good. And then we got to come back here, play Jessup, who beat us, and Menlo's 12-1 in non-conference. And they're
and then you go back to
and then we got to go back.
Again.
I know. We're in this stretch. We were just looking at it today. We're like, oh my gosh, there's no nights off in the GSAC, man. It's the best league in the country, and we wouldn't have it any other way. And Ottawa's no different. They're good enough to beat anybody in the country. They're super talented, and Coach Keeley's taken a program and built it up from nothing into a team that went to a Fab Four and has won the GSAC tournament 2 years in a row. I mean, they're rolling, and they're really good, and they're really tough to stop, and they've got a lot of firepower just like Masters, and so we're gonna have our work cut out for us this week.
And of course, those games let you know where your team stands at the end of 40 minutes, whether you win or lose. Okay, you got some good tape that you can watch and improve on after Ottawa to get ready for Vanguard. So regardless of how it plays out, it's you're going to be in a dogfight.
Yeah, I hope it's a win. That's what I'm praying for. But
Absolutely.
they're really good. They've got 7, 8, 9 guys that are really, really explosive and can fill it up. They got shooters. They've got quickness. They've got some bigs that can really bang inside. And so, they're really versatile, and they're gonna be a tough test for us. They've got some big wins under their belt. They went on the road earlier in the year and won 2 games out in the Midwest, and they won 3 games of the Cactus Classic, beating Montana Western and Providence and Montana Northern. So, they've got some good wins under their belt, and obviously they just beat Masters in Life, so they're hot and they're feeling good, and so it's going to be a tough matchup for us.
Coach, you're looking at our schedule. Coach Rudder put together a good one, right? Collectively speaking. Rocky Mountain was just a heck of a game in a jam-packed arena that night, that afternoon. Actually, I was looking at this one. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the
Rocky schedule. Mountain. That was
we did play Rocky Mountain, and we played some great squads over the season. So I think the schedule that you put together, Carroll, squads like that, you guys are battle tested.
Yeah, we've got to test ourselves in the non-conference battle test is a good way to put it. We've got the GSAC, which has no nights off, and it's a murderer's row of really good teams. Boom, 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 back to back to back. And so, in our non-conference, I know Coach likes to prepare us well and test us in the non-conference too.
Coach, my last one for you. How long will it be before you can get rid of the apparatus and you're back on the court?
Man, I hope soon.
Playing a little D, showing the guys how to do it.
That's what got me in the booth, so maybe I need to stay away from that. But, hopefully say a prayer for everybody watching. Say a prayer for me. I need to get out of this boot soon.
All right. He's Austin Peters, and we enjoyed our conversation with men's assistant basketball coach AP here on the show as ACU.
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate you guys.
Wins up against 4 defeats. We're going to keep our focus on round ball. We're going to talk with the ladies coming up next. Shaylynn Yager and Taylor Teeple will be on the main stage right after this. Don't go away. We welcome you back to the Tower Grill on the campus of Arizona Christian University. I'm Kevin Derryberry. He's Ed Cole. And we're going to talk a little ladies basketball. Rusty Rogers' team got it done over the weekend. A big win over the Masters College. How about 79-72 for the ladies? They pick up their 12th win. And joining us here on the program will be Shaylynn Yager and Taylor Teeple. Hello, ladies. How are you?
Hi.
Welcome to the broadcast.
Hey. Good. How are you?
We're doing fantastic. Well, let's start first. Let's congratulate your teammate Graciela Roybal, because Graciela was named the Golden State Athletic Conference Player of the Week. I think that's the second, maybe the third time that Rusty has a recipient in that category. So how about that? That's a team award, we believe, right? So congratulations to Graciela.
Sure.
Just she's been back in limited action and still making an impact right away. What's that like for you ladies?
Well, she's been working her butt off since the beginning, and even when she was hurt, she would always be involved in everything, and she's shooting after practice even with a boot on, and I think she just worked super hard. So I mean, we kind of all saw it coming. I wasn't surprised when she hit those 6 threes. I was honestly,
she deserves it.
Yeah, definitely.
And Shaylynn, what does that do for you, seeing her come out there with her dedication and her effort? As you mentioned, she's out in the boot and she's putting up work, she's putting up shots and doing her work. How does that rub off on you, Shaylynn and Taylor? What does that do for you, ladies?
I just think it sets a good example, what a team leader should be. And she definitely does that for her team. And obviously we're freshmen here, so we haven't seen her in complete action. And that was our first game, really getting to see her play. And this is not anything new for her. We've heard this, and so I'm not surprised.
Yeah. I feel it's just motivation. She gives all of us motivation. She's always the one to show up first and leave last, and I just think that brings a lot of motivation to the team.
Yeah. Well, we've also had a lot of injuries on our team, so I think that also helps people who are injured or going through something. You can get through and you'll be okay. Yeah.
Shaylynn, I have a question for you, and that is, I had something for you right there. I did this last week, too. I had something right there. You guys running some extra really good points. But I'm curious. You said you're a freshman, and that's always great. What are the pros and cons, both of you ladies, for being freshmen? Is it embellished? Is it overhyped? Or do you enjoy being freshmen? Because I would think there's some pluses and minuses to that.
There definitely is. I think, the pros are for me at least, I've been able to be blessed to be on the top team and get some good minutes, and you don't hear a lot about that with freshmen and stuff. I've definitely had to learn my groove into being a freshman.
This is a freshman that's starting, right? You're starting in GSAC conference games, right?
Yeah.
You started against the Mustangs most recently.
Yeah.
A team receiving votes. All right. Just so our listening audience and our viewing audience is aware of the athlete that we're speaking of, their student athlete here. Okay, go. Proceed. Please proceed.
It definitely was a challenge, at the beginning of the year, at least for me. She obviously went through an injury, so that was rough, but it was hard because it was a whole culture change, and I had to find my way on the team, and I think I'm starting to find that now, but it took a lot of mentally pushing through tough times, and it was a little bit difficult at first, but I would say it's getting pretty good now.
Yeah.
Was that your first victory against the Mustangs or second? Is that the first time you played them? You get one more. You played.
I think that was the first time because we're
time.
just starting conference, so we should see them again.
Historically speaking, the program is now 9-17 against the Mustangs. So you ladies are undefeated against the Masters. That's pretty impressive. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Taylor, I want to fast forward to the fourth quarter against the Masters. 16 of your 24 points were from the free throw line. You had 20 free throws in the fourth quarter. What was it about that last quarter that allows you? Did you know that?
Wait,
no.
You shot 20 free throws in the fourth quarter.
No, I think that might have been Alyssa.
Yeah, that was Alyssa.
She made 8 of them. As a team, you shot 20 free throws.
Oh, as a team.
Yes.
I was I didn't shoot that many. Wait, what was the question again? Sorry.
Shooting 20 free throws in the fourth quarter, 16 of your 24 points came from the free throw line. That's an anomaly. That very rarely happens that you have that many points from the free throw line in one quarter. Just talk about going to the free throw line, being aggressive, and making a lot of shots from the charity stripe.
I think that was I feel our shots we were hitting, but I think getting to the hoop and like being able to get to like the line is like an important part of the basketball game, especially being like a post. I feel like that's where a lot of our points come, either from under the basket or on the free throw line. So I just think that's really important for like us posts to work on too. Like I feel like we kind of shy away sometimes when we should be taking those opportunities, and not just like leaving it up to the guards to shoot those threes.
And you mentioned Alyssa, she was perfect, 8 for 8 from the free throw line.
Yeah.
She had a great game, another one of those great games. She just continues to stack
Yeah.
up games.
Yeah.
Shaylynn?
I think she's honestly like one of my biggest role models on the team. Coming in as a freshman, like immediately off the bat, she was like the first one on and off the court to be like a real friend to me and like just show me like it's going to be okay, because like I was going through it. So she was like there to like help me like persevere and get through it. So she's amazing. Like honestly, she had 46 points on the road versus Jessup. Like it was fun to watch, and like she's special. So yeah, I'm grateful for her.
Just keep it on Alyssa for a second, because we tend to marvel at her, right?
Yeah.
How challenging is that for you to stay within the game? You got a job to do.
Yeah.
She's going to dish it off to you. You got to be ready to score or dish it or make a contribution. But sometimes you could get wrapped up in the zone that she's in, can't you?
Yeah, definitely. Because like a lot of the attention can definitely go to her, you know, which she deserves fully.
Yeah.
But which is like great about our team is like we don't get wrapped up in that. Like we all like congratulate and like are happy for each other, but we know like we have a job to complete, and like that's what's on our mind, rather than like we'll celebrate at the end of the game, like good for you in the locker room cheering you on and stuff. But we really stick to the game plan and like try to complete the task.
You mentioned the freshman again. I'll go back to that. How's the transition been to now be here in Glendale and start to have this college campus life?
Yeah.
How's it been for both of you ladies? Taylor, we'll start with you.
I'm from Washington, so it's pretty far away.
University Place, to be
yes.
exact?
Yes. It's obviously like different. Like Arizona is not the same as Washington at all. But I love it here. Like the sun is
You like the sun?
amazing. But yeah, I feel like our coaches, like especially Rusty and Adam, they make it great here and they make it enjoyable. And I'm just excited to see where the rest of this season goes, because I haven't been playing just for my injury, but yeah.
Yeah. I'm from California, so like this is not like crazy like different to me. But I was super happy to like come to Arizona and kind of get that distance away from like family, just to like grow up and mature on my own. And I love the campus. I love the college here. And like touching on what she said, like Coach Adam is like one of our biggest assets to our team for sure. And I don't think I would be here without him. And then Rusty is like a phenomenal coach. So yeah, I'm really grateful.
So you're saying that things are different here in Glendale than they are in Winchester?
I would say so, but not like crazy, you know. I'm able to adapt super quick, so it hasn't been horrible, and I really do like it here. The people are great, and I met some of my best friends.
How far is Winchester from Los Angeles? Just to kind of give us a feel.
Like 2 hours.
Okay.
It's not too bad.
It's like
Bakersfield. Yeah. His hometown. Kevin's hometown.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Love making Baco references on the program.
Shaylynn, let me ask you about Rancho Christian. You had a lot of success there. You're a double-double machine. I was going to ask you about Emily Till as well, but you won an Ivy League title there, a CIF championship. You scored the most points in a CIF girls basketball game. That success you had there, how did that help you translate and get ready for a next step up from high school to college?
Yeah. I would say that I would go back to my coach back at Rancho, Marlon. He was great. He like pushed me to a level I didn't think I could go to. Mentally, like I had to be tough. He produces athletes, and I have to give it to him because he really pushed me to be like the best athlete I can possibly be. But coming in, it gave me like a little bit of confidence, like, okay, I can do this. So I didn't really like fear coming into college. I was kind of like, I'm ready for it. Like, give me what you got.
Okay, now let me tie in Emily Till with this question from high school. So you were a double-double machine there, averaged 20 and 11 across your career. Now Emily's got her fifth the other night. She got her fifth double-double. What are you seeing from Emily as far as her ability to score and rebound the ball? Because you know you did that in high school as well, so you know exactly how she's able to do it now at this level.
Yeah, I think that's like a huge thing that like people don't give a lot of credit to. Like we more so give credit to like who has the most points and like who's MVP of the game. But honestly, without those rebounds, we wouldn't have those points. So I've been in that position. Like I don't get enough credit to like know if it wasn't for her, we wouldn't win some of these games. She makes an impact every single game, and like the rebounds and the points she gets for us is like crucial. So yeah.
It's nice to see you guys come out with that win. You know, it's just impressive to beat a school like that.
Yeah.
In fact, for this is your ladies' first year, but for Rusty and the rest of the girls, they've beaten the Masters 2 times in a row now. So they're kind of closing the gap there. But anytime you win in a conference play, it's a big deal. And that's something that we've had Rusty on. We've talked about that. Kind of a slow start in that slate of games in the GSAC conference. Taylor, I'm curious. Do you have a nickname? You got 2 T's right there. You get T squared all the time. What do the girls call you?
I get like Teeps a lot.
Teeps. All right. Teeps.
Tay.
Tay. Okay.
All the fun
What
names.
about Shay? I mean, you get Shay a lot.
Yeah,
right?
I do.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
they're coming up with some creative ones right now. I'm like getting every name in the book.
if Taylor gets Tay, do you get Shay or just?
Oh, I get that a lot.
Yeah.
I get
Do
like,
you?
yeah, I get Shay a lot. People are starting to call me Shaylynn. I'm like, where did you get that from? Or Shaylynn. Like, they just come up with all these names that I'm like, okay.
Shaylynn?
Yeah.
Or Shay?
They say Shaylynn to like tease me. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, take us through the major political science.
Yeah.
Like, so we talk round ball, we talk about life,
Yeah.
you know, in California and
Yeah.
coming to the desert. But now let's get serious for a second. When it comes to the academics, how did you decide that political science was going to be your major?
So freshman year, actually, I got put into a senior class, and it was forensics. And going into there, I was like, all these seniors, I was like, oh no. But going through that class, I actually like helped me get the major I have today because I was super interested in it. And like ever since then, I kind of have been like in the loop, and I was like, this is what I want to do. Because obviously women don't get paid that much after like college. They don't get paid a lot in the WNBA. And that was a dream of mine, but then I like kind of had to accept what reality was and also like what I want to do. But I want to be somewhat in the FBI or something in law enforcement. So I'm planning on being in law enforcement first and then like hopefully FBI after. They also get paid a lot, especially in a men dominant field. So I want to make an impact as like a woman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Great.
Thank you.
Great
Yeah,
idea.
and Tay, for you, you're elementary education. How did you choose that? And you want to be an elementary teacher, right?
So yeah, I chose that at the beginning of the semester, like last semester, but I really wanted to focus on special education, but obviously I don't think they offer that here. So I kind of switched my major up, and I'm going into business. And hopefully after college, I might find like a cosmetology school and go that route. But who knows? I'm still like up in the air with that.
That's cool.
Are you breaking some news to your
We have to update
teammates
this bio, Tim.
or to maybe your family at home?
Yeah.
My mom and dad know, but they kind of wanted me into like the business program, but because they're business owners. So, but I don't know.
Quick observation for Shaylynn. It seems like that you. How about the study of the game? Do you both watch film? Is that something that's just routine now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just seems like you have an ability to articulate the game of basketball well spoken. You know, you should probably think about talking about the game when you're done hanging them up. You could probably talk a little color. You know, in a broadcasting just with the ability to articulate the game of basketball.
For sure.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I
mean, I wouldn't mind it. You know, you see like WNBA players like Candace Parker after they play, and I mean, I wouldn't mind it.
By the way,
fun.
some of those gals are making some cash now, though.
Oh, they definitely
they're making
are.
money.
But I think NIL helps that a lot, you know.
Oh, without question. We were talking about Caitlin Clark last week.
Yeah, I think she's great. I haven't seen a player like that.
She's one of these gals doing this
Oh,
right
for
now.
sure.
She's stacking
Or like
it up.
Angel Reese, like that has a huge play in college now because before, I mean, I remember that discussion. I would be like the one getting heated that these women aren't getting paid. But I'm glad it's coming around.
Ladies, we've had a lot of fun with you.
Yes.
Shaylynn Yager, Taylor Teeple, part of the Rusty Rogers group, 12-6 now, and things are rocking and rolling. Before we part ways, just a quick nugget nugget, 30 seconds or less. Ottawa next up in the crosshairs. We got them.
Yes.
30 seconds, Taylor. What do we know about Ottawa, and how personal is this?
Well,
or not?
I don't we haven't done much film study.
Yeah, freshman. They have experienced Ottawa.
You got to keep that real right now.
I know there are rivals, so that's important already.
And you're going to their place.
I feel like a big focus for us freshmen is that we don't really know how the conference is. So it's we show up, we're gonna work our butts off, and hopefully we come out with a win. We will come out with a win. But yeah.
Fantastic. All right, there you go, ladies. Thank you so much. We're going to take it to the mat. The fellas are here anxiously waiting to take it to the main stage. We have wrestlers Carlo Castagnaro and Jason Ramirez. Hopefully we nailed that, Carlo. I got the
thumbs up. That was good.
Fantastic.
Good, Kevin. Good job, Kevin.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk wrestling. Mr. Butterfield's fellas are here on the main stage. We'll be right back. Thanks. Yeah, cool. Be back inside the Tower Grill on the campus of Arizona Christian University for the Storm Report, episode 15. I'm your program host, Kevin Derryberry. He's Ed Cole, and now joining us here on the main stage from the wrestling program, I like to say Coach Butterfield's guys, but Carlo Castagnaro is here along with Jason Ramirez. And gentlemen, welcome in. 6-11 on the start, but congratulations for being here at ACU and for all of your successes. But how's the start of the season going for you, Carlo?
It's going good. A little bit of a rocky start. Every year we always feel a little banged up. We have a really long season, so we focus on peaking at the right times, longevity. So the usual stuff. It's a long season, so we try to preserve ourselves the best we can. But a little bit of a rocky to the start of the beginning of the season, but looking forward to finishing the season strong.
If you would, Carlo, just set us up with our viewers as far as what weight class are you in, and then Jason, what weight class are you in? Because obviously we got two different sized dudes up here, right?
Yeah.
I mean, two clearly different specimens. So I'm just curious about the weight class.
Yeah. So I walk around about 180, but I wrestle 165. So.
Okay.
How does that work?
A lot of weight cutting.
Coach Butterfield talks about that quite a bit. That has got to be a process for you. Probably the most difficult thing in wrestling is got to be to get to weight, yes?
Yeah, it's hard to explain to people the things we have to go through, but we're really resilient people, and, it's a struggle. It's a daily one of our phrases in wrestling is embrace a grind, and that's something we definitely have to do every single day. It's a grind.
Carlo, is it diet? Is it workout? How do you go from 180 to 165 and then back up and down?
A lot of it's diet. You start with the diet. You kind of just it's a long process, but I would say the big part is diet and a lot of just workouts, and a lot of it's water weight as well towards the end of the week. There's a lot of water in your body, so you don't want to focus on all of that because you obviously get a little too dehydrated, but towards the end of the week, you really start to focus on wringing out as much water as you can. So,
Jason, we talk about diet, right? Again, clearly you guys have two different types of bodies here, and the idea of discipline comes to play, right? You've got to be disciplined all day long, 24/7, right? Is there a time where you can say, you know what, we had a good win over so-and-so. I'm going to have an In-N-Out burger. I'm doing it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And if you do that, do you pay the price? Or is there a time where, like, and maybe this is a good question for you too, Carlo, if you do have that In-N-Out, maybe you go double. Maybe you should have just stuck with a single. But do you pay the price down the road as far as trying to cut weight? And you're like, you know what, I should not have had that burger.
We definitely like to celebrate once we get a nice win, and on those Sundays that we have that day off, I'd say I like to splurge.
What's a splurge for you?
I like ice cream a lot. That's like my favorite thing to go to. So
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
I'll always get like a cone of ice cream. Especially at the tower too. I'll treat myself a couple times.
A couple times. Yeah. All right, so tell us about that ice cream. What is it? We're looking at Rocky Road here, fudge, whipped cream, the whole deal, or just
don't say mint chocolate chip, because if you do, I'm kicking you out of here.
I'd say a cookie dough.
There you go.
Cookie dough.
Gotta stay classy.
With
You like that pain, huh?
Are we adding like caramel sauce to that?
Yes.
Or fudge or whipped cream, or just straight up?
I am.
I'm classic. I just
And
keep
I
it
know
how
who
it
you
is.
are.
Yeah.
I know who you are.
But you're asking him.
But
of course.
Jason's got to cut weight tomorrow, right?
Yeah. Well, I definitely do pay the price at practice.
Okay.
But I like to just enjoy myself throughout the week and like not worry too much about weight until that part comes, because wrestling is a really mentally tough sport, and I'd say I'd like to focus more on the wrestling part instead of just the cutting weight part.
yeah.
Like, it's important to cut weight, but at the same time, wrestling is here and cutting weight's down here. So.
Okay.
So, Jason, you were set to wrestle somebody from Vanguard in your last match, but you won by a forfeit. How does that work out, and how do you prepare, and then you find out that it's a forfeit and you don't have to actually wrestle somebody? So how does that work for you mentally when you're ready to wrestle against somebody, and then you find out that you don't have to wrestle because they forfeited?
Well, it kind of sucks because I've prepared my whole week, my whole training was to come in and beat this guy, but he didn't come. So, like, I just feel like next time, like, the team should probably figure it out, like, who we're gonna have at this weight class, and just have those people there at that weight that they need.
And then when you find out that you don't have to wrestle somebody, does that change your mindset and your approach to your other brothers that have to wrestle after you? Do you turn into more of like a coach and kind of a guy that's a rah-rah kind of guy on the sidelines with your brothers?
Yeah, I'd say I'd turn into a cheerleader usually once I don't have anything going on. So I'd like to cheer on the team. I'm pretty vocal when it comes to that too. So.
Oh yeah.
I think it's important to be vocal, right? You want to be, boisterous and cheering your team on and making a difference when you're not on the mat. That has got to be a drag, though. You prepare all week long, mentally, physically, you're ready to go, and then you win by default. But winners win, and you'll take the dub anytime you can. Carlo Castagnaro, our guest here, along with Jason Ramirez, and Carlo ranked 20th in the NAI a year ago. Carlo, we talk about the tactical aspect of wrestling. I'm assuming that the best way to win is by a pin, but again, you'll take a win any way you can get it. But is it true? Would you rather pin somebody, or you got a tough opponent, didn't quite work out that way? It's a physical, tough, mental grind, but you'll take a win in points as well. Is there anything more thrilling about a pin than winning on points?
I love pins. If I could, I would pin every single match I could. It's less stress on your body. You feel great about yourself. You get the match over with, and you get to focus on drinking and eating once again. So I'll take a pin any single day I could get. But we are prepared for 7 minutes or longer and to put as many points on that board as possible. But if the pin's there, we go for it right away. That's for sure. Definitely.
How about you?
I like the pin. Recently, I believe my coach told me that I got the pin record too, and we're barely like halfway through the season, so I'm pretty proud of that for myself.
Carlo, how do you prepare yourself mentally, knowing that you could go 7 minutes with a person, and not to break yourself mentally?
Yeah, I think you kind of have to pace yourself. It's really easy to kind of go in that first period and go super hard, but you can gas yourself out fast. Obviously, we focus that in the room with different situations, and we prepare ourselves all season. But it's really easy to get caught up in the match with almost tiring yourself out. So you kind of do, in a way, have to pace yourself for those 7 minutes, or if not longer. Overtime can go long, too. I think last year I had a match that was about 15 minutes. It was like 2 matches long. So
what was the result?
I ended up winning in overtime. It was like a last-second match.
There you go.
Oh, nice.
But it just goes to show you never know what can happen in a match, so we have to prepare ourselves for anything that can happen.
Do you get talkative with your opponents sometimes,
I think,
Carlo?
I think you get more talkative with the refs than I do the actual opponents, yeah.
After a big pin or something, I like to bark because I'm one of the dogs on the team, so...
Elaborate on some of the things that you would bark. What would be a typical comment?
Or do you like bark like a dog?
I bark like a dog.
Literally.
Okay.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. Wrestling's really mental, so...
Take us through the mindset. Coach Butterfield, every time Coach Butterfield comes inside the Tower Grill, we talk with Coach Butter. We have a great time, just like we're here talking with you fellas. And we always ask that question, but what is it like, because Coach Butterfield always talks about the tactical aspect, the mental aspect, the cutting weight, all those things that make it trick, but it's got to be a joy to perform for Coach Butterfield. The proverbial run through a wall or a door for this guy, but I feel that way when we talk to him. He's that charming for us, and we just appreciate him.
Yeah. I think sophomore year at Butterfield is when I came in, and that's when we transitioned from a new head coach, and that's when Butterfield came in, and we were it was me and a handful of guys that really bought into what Butterfield said, and it's a really big trust thing. So I totally bought into what Butterfield had for us, and I'm still am to this day. As far as the mental aspect and different aspects of wrestling, he nails it. This is really just enduring sport. You have to prepare yourself in so many different ways. So it really does take a lot on the body and the mind. But, you just have to buy in. I would say that. So.
Jason, I took Shaylynn back to her high school days. I'll take you back to yours. Kevin, this is probably a new one for you. His favorite highlight was accidentally throwing his headgear at a table worker. Do you remember that? Do you remember when that happened?
Yeah.
His headgear, what?
He threw his headgear at one of the table workers. That was his favorite highlight at Holbrook High School.
It was on accident. I didn't mean to actually throw.
So how was that your favorite highlight? It wasn't pinning a dude?
Well, I actually did pin my state's final match, and so...
And then you threw the headgear.
Yeah. I meant to throw into the crowd, and it got caught to my finger, and it slipped, and it hit this lady, this table worker in the leg. I felt pretty bad. I checked on her, but she was laughing about it too. So
we've all been faced with this question, right? What do you do when your opponent is a lady? Does that change how
that has
things
changed.
go?
Girls wrestling is so big right now. It's actually its own sport, just like basketball.
Right.
Back then, it used to be I've been wrestling since I was 4 years old. So back then, I think one of my first ever matches was against a girl, and I told my dad, I don't know what to do. Do I go easy on her or what? But now it's such a huge, massive sport, and it's actually really cool to watch and see.
Let's go back. We always like to turn back to the history books here. What'd you do in that first match against that lady?
Oh my God! I think it was my second match, and I think I won because she did an illegal move on me.
Oh.
Yeah. So it worked out for me well. Yeah.
Hopefully the kids in the stands were like, "You can't do that," right? One of those bits. That is interesting, but it has kind of leveled out, right? Now the ladies have their own division; they can wrestle against each other. But it was a little bit odd for a moment.
Definitely. Yeah, but I tell you what, there are some really tough girl wrestlers out there that would actually perform really well and beat up on a lot of guys. But I'm glad that they have their own division now, and it's really successful, and it's really big right now.
My last one for you both, fellas. Obviously, you mentioned Jason's from Holbrook and Carlo is from Cienega High School down south of Tucson. But as a team, the wins haven't been there for you. But individually speaking, you still continue to perform and you still compete. That's one thing that Coach Butterfield will always talk about is about competing no matter what the situation is. You're going to deal with adversity, and you have dealt with your fair share of adversity. How do you kind of get things turned around here as we go forward?
I'd say just taking one day at a time. Man, wrestling is just a really tough sport, but for my whole life, I've just started to look at things as wins and not as losses, but as just ways to learn and taking something to learn from every loss that we come from. So,
yeah, what I've learned is just to enjoy wrestling because really wrestling is like a mentally just really tough on your body, in your head, but once you start to enjoy the sport and enjoy it as it is and enjoy those wins, like what Carlo was saying, you're going to really start seeing you jump levels. So,
yeah.
Jason, for me, you guys are getting great. Get on a bird and head to Marshall, Missouri on Friday and Saturday. You got the Missouri Valley Invite. How excited are you to head there to the Burns Athletic Center and wrestle some stiff competition, huh?
I'm ready to rumble.
Yep.
Yeah.
Look at him, Kevin.
Oh, yeah.
He's ready.
This is a really big tournament for us. I'm super excited. This is about as close as you can get as to nationals, so I'd say this is the perfect warm-up for us. So many schools, high-ranked schools. If we perform well here, this is how we get our ranking, and this is how we perform well for the rest of the year and get to nationals. The end goal. So.
Carlos, so I'm sorry for those teams. How much film are you watching and preparing for these guys that you're getting ready to face?
Everyone's different. Wrestling's such an individual sport. I personally have gone through so many different phases over the years of studying each guy. I've gotten to the point now where I just focus on myself, my own game plan, being prepared for when anything can happen, and instead of watching other matches. Mm-hmm. So, but there's other guys, and I'm sure there's guys on our team that put a lot of time in watching tape, but it's kind of just based on the individual. So,
Jason Ramirez, if I wasn't wrestling, I'd be playing what sport?
I don't know. I suck at everything else, to be honest. But
I'm thinking you could play a little baseball, right?
You played soccer in high school.
Yeah,
I
did play soccer, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it'd probably be soccer. Yeah, but wrestling's just what I love, and that's my passion, so I couldn't see myself doing anything else.
Carlo Castagnaro, how about yourself? If you weren't wrestling, and you said you've been wrestling since you were 4 years old.
Yeah.
I guess that's a two-parter as we've closed up shop here. 4 years old, that's a young age to discover the love for wrestling and then to stick through it. That's what brought you to that sport?
My dad wrestled, and obviously when we got to a certain age, it was more just like me, the little kid running around in the background with all the big guys. That obviously turned into a passion and a love for the sport. It's not that simple, though. I've gone through so many highs and lows in the sport. I think that's why I love the sport so much, is it really does prepare us for life in every single way. But, man, I've had some really good high highs, but really low lows to the point where I almost would never wrestle again. But if I were to pick a sport, I swam in high school. My dad forced me. I miss swim every single day. So,
all right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Carlo Castagnaro, Jason Ramirez, another fantastic program. We certainly appreciate Coach Peters visiting with us, as well as Shaylynn Yager and Taylor Teeple. And, of course, on another night that we're up against it, Nielsen-wise, we're going against Monday Night Football 2 times over. I'm sure the Buffalo Bills got it done, and I think that the Bucs are already putting it to the Eagles early stages.
Sorry about your Steelers, Kevin.
It is what it is.
Can't be as bad as my Cowboys. So.
Oh, goodness, no.
We're just glad that we're not Dallas fans.
Oh, my goodness,
Yeah.
no.
Other
It's
than
a
CeeDee
tough
Lamb,
day.
because
I'm sure you were sick yesterday, Carlo.
I stopped watching very early. Yeah, I think we're just used to it at this point. So.
You know what? Jake Ferguson was legit, right? The tight end.
Right.
After that, I'm surprised. I thought it was funny to see Jerry Jones up in the booth, turn around, going, "What are we doing here? Is this accurate?
Yep.
Am I going to fire this guy at halftime, or should I wait till the end of the game?" So I bet you Mike McCarthy's gone. He gone, they say. And for Ed Cole, I'm Kevin Derryberry. Special thank you to the guys that get it done behind the scenes. Tim Grossman, who puts this show together, and, of course, Payne Moses, who produces this show.
Thank you, Tim Payne.
To our global viewing audience, we thank you. Until next time, so long for now.